Welcome to Bear Lifestyle, the podcast where we speak up and speak out about all taboo topics and make them normal and acceptable. You are invited to be curious, to try something new, and stay open to provocative perspectives. I'm your host, Simona Spark, a best-selling author, international speaker, transformational coach, and so many other things. Beyond anything else, I'm a woman who stopped following other people's rules and started creating my own. In this space, we are going to get naked by stripping away insecurities, self-judgments, and all kinds of limitations so we can reach in for the essence of who we really are, Bear. Beautiful, authentic, real, and ever evolving. Thanks for listening. Hello, everyone. Welcome back. Let's celebrate. Chin Chin. Do you have something to Chin Chin with, Michael?
I just have water.
Chin Chin.
Yes.
Celebrating as always. I'm celebrating myself. I'm celebrating our amazing guests, and I'm celebrating all of you that you are come back here. And all of you that just led here for the first time, welcome to the Bear Lifestyle. As the promo says, this is a space where we just want to talk about the damn thing and address all the taboo topics that we could think of. And finally, for God's sake, just normalize them and make them acceptable. So, Michael is here. Hello, welcome.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Of course, I'm like, Michael is here, and we just talk like he's on my left, and usually people are on my right, and I got a little bit confused.
That's appropriate for me. I'm always on the wrong side.
There you go.
I love it.
Talking about the wrong side, or not. So what do we want to do here? First thing first, I do want to let you, all of you guys know that the Bear Men experience is about to open. I talk about it for a minute. And this is the man that I'm going to co-host the event with. So yay.
Yay.
So let's hear about you for a second. Let people know who you are, what are you about, why you're here. Tell us everything.
Well, I'm a personal coach. I do fitness coaching. I work with people to become healthier and happier people. My goal in life is just for everybody's life to be enhanced somehow. And I've done that in my background with health and fitness. That's been my entire background. I've also done some life coaching. So I've gotten into the mental health space doing life coaching. And that's because I believe that the mental and psychological side of it is the most important. And even with the fitness, which is very physical, the psychological side is really where it is made, or it's made. I mean, that's where it happens. And so my goal has always been, because I have generally been a very happy person, I want people to always feel like they can grow. They can become a different version of themselves that's happier, more authentic. And I think that's the key, being more authentic. And so I've lived my life being largely very authentic and true to myself. It took me time, as it does everybody, but I came out of the closet in my 20s as a gay man and have lived very authentically now for over 20 years. And I feel like it's my responsibility to be honest about who I am, what I like. And I think everybody, if they are able to do that, they ultimately find that they are so much happier and more fulfilled as people, because they're no longer defined by what they think they should be. They're just themselves. Right. And so that's what I try to do. And that's what I try to bring to the world. And so that's really my background, is just doing the fitness, the life coaching, and that's my mission. That's what I'm doing here.
And even more than that, because I know enough about you that you do many other things, but we're gonna just stick with that for a minute, and we're gonna give the audience the opportunity to join us in different spaces and learn more. So thank you for that.
course.
And yes, 100%. I love how you say it, that it start, when you talk about the coaching, and like, yeah, everything is starting in the mind, right? It's starting with the mindset. And then when we talk about the authenticity, which is the second letter in our bear, what that does is basically allow everyone to be who they are and not to be as anybody else.
Right.
So no more stereotypes and boxes and categories, none of that shit, right?
Right. Right.
So the reason I was really wanted to create a space for men, because I say it for many years, like even with this whole movement that's going on in the growth industry, coaching industry, and like the power of women and women stepping up and speaking out, and I'm all in 100%. But I always have the question, but what about the men?
Mm-hmm.
Because in the end of the day, I go to bed with that man. And if there is no space for him to grow, to heal, to like, I'm doing the work, but it's not enough. It's just half of the equation, right?
Right.
And then from there, I was thinking like, okay, so I create this bear experience for women. And because we talk a lot about sexuality and sensuality and nudity and all that, has to be a safe space. And now I want to do this with men, and thank you so much for joining and agreeing to co-host that space with me.
Of course.
And eventually, I want to have everyone together. The goal is to transmute the gender, the genitalia, the sexual orientation, and really go in to do the deep inner work of who I am as a person,
Right.
who I am as a sexual being, who I am as a sensual being, who I am as a feeler, like where my feelings are, right? I got distracted by the neighbors slamming the door.
I heard that. That was quite abrupt, wasn't it? Was that symbolic, Simona? Did something just happen?
Something just happened, like
Door
slam.
Yeah.
So yes, and when I start talking about this space and I target a variety of people and men of all kind of sexual orientation and gender identity, what I notice is, in general, okay, you guys, we generalize here, gay man is more open for healing and for doing this work. Why do you think that is?
I think part of it is because we have an upbringing that is just different than a lot of other people's. And I think it's not, I think different is not meant to say that I feel like I should be treated specially because it's different. I'm just saying that's the reality of it. I don't think any of us are asking for special attention. We just want to be basically seen as everybody else, which is a human being that's evolving and learning. And we have a different upbringing because we're raised in a world where we're kind of an outlier. We aren't the norm. So we have to find our identity in a community that's generally not the mass community of people. It's growing. I mean, there's a lot more people that are out of the closet now that are really being honest and authentic about who they are, and they are exploring that. But I think because gay men have been, since childhood, been doing a lot of this work on themselves and trying to navigate their way through the world, I think they tend to be more open-minded to growth experiences and to trying to expand and to
love that.
Something beyond who they are. And I think a lot of men, unfortunately, talking specifically about men, and this is true for women too, are closed off to it sometimes because they just haven't had the practice, or they haven't really been in a container where they felt like they could grow. They just feel trapped almost and stuck where they are. And I think gay men, just because we're such evolutionary beings, we have had to be in order to adapt to society, we tend to be the top end. I think the ceiling tends to be more, it's higher in terms of like where we are willing to go, because we've already had to do it. We've had to adjust to so many things as we grow up. And so I think that's a big part of it.
I love it. Thank you so much for that. That makes so much sense. That makes so much sense. And in a way, if we look back, at least our generation, right? Because the new generation, they're in a different space, but our generation and older, we look back and we mainly grow up with this belief of if you losing my earrings. Things are happening today.
Lots of stuff is happening.
Things are
The
happening
Bearman
today.
experience is causing this to happen.
First man on a podcast, and I'm losing my shit here. So yes, we grow up with this belief of when we look at authenticity, if you are curious about who you are or your voice or your opinion or your self-expression, is like you've just been put into this box of being self-absorbed or selfish or whatever.
Yeah.
And I like how you present it, like for the gay person, regardless man or woman, right?
Right.
Is that innate curiosity of self-exploration and self-discovery, like who am I, why am I not like the others, who am I being in this world, how can I write all this questions. And it's so powerful because you could see it again, generally speaking, when from a little kid you have all this question and you keep go deeper into your own curiosity. Like there is no open door. It's like there is no door. It's just openness.
Right. Yeah.
Right. We slam the door. That's what's happening.
That's right. That's why that happened.
That's why that happened. We open a door and just break it. Very interesting though, because talking with women and coaching quite few through this process of a bear. Here's another thing that, and I also find it in the LGBTQ community, and I want you to give me your input on that. Sure. The woman feels that it's her duty to do this work in order to, please her husband. Right. Right. So I just wonder, like, and I did work with same-sex couple women, but I did not work with same-sex couple men. So I'm just curious, like, including in your training with the clients that you work, what's the approach when it's coming to body acceptance, sensuality, and sexuality into a same-sex couple men relationship?
Yeah, I think it's interesting too, because I mean, the relationships, if you look at them, two men, it's such a different dynamic than a man and a woman. Just inherently two men with different hormones, a different combination of interests. I think a lot of times, this is one of the interesting things about the community, is that you see the way that we relate to each other is quite different than straight couples. And I think sometimes straight couples hear about gay relationships and it's fascinating to them because they're just so different, because it's not that they're not traditional, because there are a lot of, traditional elements to relationships of gay people, but there are also some differences. And I think some of that does have to do with sexuality and the fact that gay men traditionally, and men in general, because we're associated with being sexual beings, and this has been kind of an identifier for us, and for better or for worse. I mean, a lot of times people try to put us in a box, the way that you just mentioned, and say that, well, gay men are basically just incredibly horny people, and it's all about because we're men. And, there are some elements of truth.
Lucky bastards.
The biological sex that we are. But I also think you're right. I think that it's an interesting journey, because as you were saying, we go through this growth journey as children going up into adolescence and adulthood. And then when we get into relationships, then it's like the second half of the journey begins, because we're doing our own journey, which has been a journey. And then you're trying to relate to another person who's also been on a journey. And so I think, the navigation of a relationship between two men, a lot of times it's fascinating, because in some ways, by the time you get to that point, you've both been on a journey. So now it's like, how can we serve each other and continue that journey? And I think it's done so with a large degree of kindness and love and wanting to like give space to the other person, because we're very sympathetic to the fact that another gay man has probably been through a lot in their lives and has been, they've heard the hate, they've been told they can't do this, or they're not supposed to be this way, or they're going to
So,
hell.
so basically you have like a major part of your identity, you have it in common with
Yes,
every gay man. And that is
absolutely.
already like, it's such a,
It's already there.
it's already there. It's already
Yeah.
there, right? Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. And one thing, and I said it in other spaces multiple times, is like I learned a lot about relationships with the same-sex couple. And first thing that I learned the most is that there are last or close to zero stereotypes that we have in rules that we have into a heterosexual relationship, where
Right.
like I'm the man, I'm the woman, you're supposed to do this, you're supposed to do that.
Yeah.
And when you look at the same-sex couples, like that conversation never happened. It's just one is leading, one is following, and then they switch. And it's like, it's
Yeah.
not how we all supposed to be doing, because nobody's just the leader. You can't be a leader without being a follower, and vice
Right.
versa, right?
Right. Yeah. That's true.
So
Yeah.
one thing that I'm very excited about, that our upcoming masterclass that we will do for men, and
Yes.
everybody, please open the description, check the link, register. It's gonna happen in when is that? Second week of August.
Mhm.
Just register so you could get the emails and the updates. It's a free event.
Mhm.
And we really wanted to, the main focus there is to take you through the BARNE of the bear.
Mhm.
So we create workbooks as like, they're like little guided self-discovery journals, so you can find your own answers. And the main thing there that I would love to focus on is the energy, this mix of masculine and feminine energy that we all have.
Mhm.
That has nothing to do with our sex that we are born with or our sexual orientation. And I think that's another thing that I learned from gay man couples, for sure. As just to scratch the surface for a minute, right? Like,
yeah.
Like very, very on the top of the surface of the things.
Yes.
We're gonna go deep into the master class.
Yes.
It's like masculine energies are energy of giving, and feminine energies are energy of receiving.
Mm-hmm.
And I could see pretty much in all the couples that I know in LGBTQ community how that is such a dance and an exchange.
Mm-hmm.
Where in my world,
Mm-hmm.
it's very rigid.
Right.
It's like, I'm such a giver. It's like a badge of honor. Yeah, but you cannot be a giver if I'm a partner, I'm not receiving.
Right, exactly.
I have to be a receiver in order for you to be a giver.
That's
right. And then if I'm receiving it, it's like, you just want, but you don't give. And it's like, what do you want me to do?
So both channels have to work together. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. So how do you see that in your work? And I know, and then I have another question about the work, but I just want to pause here to let you interject.
Well, and I really, I work with a lot of men that are also single. I'm single. I've been in relationships before. And I mean, I think one of the things you said is so important is that finding the balance of energy is really key to everybody in life being successful and happy, in my personal opinion. I believe that having a balance of a masculine and feminine energy gives you such an openness to the human experience, because you don't just see things one way. It's not a rigid, you said the word rigid. A rigid definition doesn't serve itself well when you are trying to navigate difficult trials and waters. You need different opinions, you need different approaches, and you need to have a balanced way of doing things. Otherwise, you're basically just going to be trapped in a very dogmatic, narrow way, and it just doesn't work. And I feel like if more people, especially men who feel obligated to be masculine because that's what they think the definition of society wants them to be, if they would open themselves up to their feminine energy, in many ways, it's only going to enhance the person that you are and make you a better man. And I wish that was more understood. I think it's not about being accepted. It's about being understood. I think there's a lack of understanding. And I think what you and I are trying to do is better help people understand that that balance does not change anything about you being a man or being the kind of man or the kind of woman that you're going to be. It's just giving you an enhanced human experience that makes life better and makes it worth living, and it affects everyone around you. So I think as gay men, what I'm really working on trying to do with people is help them find that balance so that they have the powerful openness and receiving ability of the feminine energy, but they also can be assertive and they can stand up for themselves and not be walked all over by people, because a lot of people get taken advantage of. And the last thing that I want to see for people is to be used and taken advantage of. You want to stand up for yourself, but also be kind and receptive and being willing to receive love. And I think that that's really the key, is trying to find that balance. And that's what excites me so much about the work that you're doing and about the work we're doing here, because we're trying to advance that idea with men in addition to women, to help them grow better.
Yeah, very well said. Up until now, and even through coaching from the beginning in my business, and you did this work too, just like, maybe we didn't call it balance of feminine and masculine energy, but where we tried to find the balance in our life, and was more kind of like outer world, like in relationship with things and others and the world. But in this bear space is like, my main intention is to help every single individual that walk into the bear space to find that balance in between.
Right.
Because that's what we've been doing all our life, like walking around like chickens without their heads, right? Like trying to find the balance with this, with this, with that. And we condition ourselves, we condition our own happiness by how much this person loves us, or how much money we make, or how much this, like we just condition ourselves. And I see it with myself for years, and I see it with clients that I've been working for a while. It's just we clean up the programming with what's been put on you from parents and grandparents or whatever. And at this point, it's such a habit and it's such ingrained in everybody's bones that we continue to self-abuse and self-traumatize.
Right.
Because that's what we learn. So it's absolutely understandable. And I like that you say it's not that people do not accept, it's just they don't understand.
Yeah.
So it's important to create those spaces where we could invite people in, and we could just close the door and like look in each other's eyes and be fully transparent, like creating this safe space where everybody gets to say as it is and how it is.
Yeah.
And allow it to be your way. So powerful. As a client of the work, when I was held into a safe space to let out all the things that I first judged, they are like out of control, right?
Right.
And the other person just received everything with love and compassion. I was actually shocked, like, what the hell is happening?
Yeah.
Like, where's the judgment? I was expecting some judgment.
Expecting it. Yeah.
Right?
True.
So that's what we want to create in a masterclass in a couple of weeks, to create that space. And then, of course, to just to scratch the surface and to just open that door and allow people to explore more, because we are all adults, we are all capable, and we are able, and we deserve. So what the hell not?
Yeah. And you said it. I mean, it's about cutting through programming, and that is the mission, is to try to cut through that programming that has made you think that you're supposed to be a certain way or act a certain way, and to really like cut through that to get to who you really are, which is this beautiful spirit inside that wants to be its own authentic version, but it's just trapped by all of these years of programming that it just needs to get dismantled. It just needs to be taken off. And the only way to do that is to just do the work and begin the process of doing so. And if you do that, eventually you get there and the programming goes away and you find out who's underneath that. And it's quite a revelation. I mean, I know you've had some incredible experiences with clients where you've seen this happen, and so have I. It's really amazing to watch that
It's
happen. And
really
I've
amazing.
experienced it myself, and I know you
Yeah.
have too. And it's just like you feel like you're really who you are.
Yeah.
You're the same beautiful person that you were when you were this young child that was, not cynical yet. You didn't have the world's expectations on you. In many ways, I'm very much in touch with the younger version of myself who was this really wide-eyed kid that was a believer in so many amazing things, and there was so much love, and cynicism gets dumped on top of that. And so
Yeah.
I kind of feel like my mission is to help people remove all of that cynical baggage and that programming to cut to the chase and get to
Yeah.
the heart of what it really is. And that's why it's a beautiful experience.
Yes. I like that you mentioned the 5-year-old, and one of my mentors many years ago said it, and I keep saying it since probably 300 times in different spaces, because I love to talk about confidence and to teach confidence on every level and in its depth, right? But the question was, do you know any 3-year-old that are not confident?
Right.
And I was like, what? Wait, what? The point being, we are all born with confidence. We are all born beautiful. We are all born with masculine and feminine energy. We are born with everything that we think that we don't have. We have it. It's there.
Yep.
The work is to go in and to just take out all the bullshit that has been put there by others and by ourselves.
Yes.
Right? To get to the bare essence. As I say, like stripping away all the insecurities and limitations. And it's like, that's what getting naked is in this space. Like strip away all the things that have been put on you with or without your approval.
Right.
And today, as long you take everything out, and it's like, oh shit, this is who I am. And then we're gonna learn how to let that person shine through, let that person be celebrated and seen, which is a totally different work, the visibility work, right?
Right.
And then just go and, as they say, shine your light on others.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's really that's the journey. And it's different. It happens at different times for different people. And that's fine too. I mean, the thing is, there's no timetable here. It's all about where are you in life now, because we can't worry about the past. The past is gone. We can still address it, but what we can do is what we can control is where we are now and where we go in the future.
Yeah.
And we can make our lives, we can make the next chapter of life the best chapter. A lot of us look on our past, especially some of us that I had a good upbringing and I had a good childhood. And I look back on it, with very optimistic, sort of like a glowing representation. But I don't feel like the best chapter of my life has to be my past. I feel like the best chapter is it should be the next one. It should be where I'm going now, because I can't control what happened then. Now I am where I am, and I want to be my happiest version of myself now and in the future. And I really, that's what I want for everybody, which is why I do what I do for a living, because I don't want them to be trapped in the past or be like beholden to what happened years ago. I want us to control what we can do now and make the next 10 years, 20, 30, 40 years, the best part of your life. And I feel like that's the journey. That's the work.
I love it. I love it. You are where you are, and where you are is perfect. And you get to decide, like, right now, in this moment, I'm going to change my life. It just gets to be that simple. It's not fucking easy, but it's super simple. I decide right now, I just want to have my life look different.
Right.
Okay, what can I do? And then we get to dream and we get to step into that, our future, and knowing that the only thing the past the only role the past has in this work is like what's holding you back, and it's usually the past, it's usually the story.
Right.
And I know for a fact that for many years I was like talking, and it's perspective, right? Some people look at the past like, oh my God, my upbringing was so bad, blah, 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 and that's why I am where I am. It's like everybody, we are where we are because we are where we are. But some people blame it, some people celebrate it. In our industry, is like a badge of honor. It's like, oh, you went through so much trauma, that's why you're such a phenomenal coach and whatever. I'm like, yeah, but I also know people that went through so much trauma and they're bad.
Right.
So it's like, let's don't, it's a matter of perspective, right? Like, yeah, there is a book, read it, my whole story is there, I'm done with it, so much that I don't even want to talk about my story when I'm interview on a podcast or whatever. Like, no, I want to talk about where I'm going.
Right. That's right.
You want to know my past? Go read the damn book.
Right. Like I have a whole book about it.
Yeah. But it's the same thing, because I found out who I am finally, like mid-40s, and I'm just curious who she can become. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't want to waste a minute about talking about who she used to be.
Right.
Like, that's gone.
It's gone. Yeah. Can't do anything about it. It's gone.
I just want to encourage our audience and our viewers today, and I can't say it enough, right now. You could say out loud, I'm going to change my life right now. Yeah. And do one thing, and then another thing. And it's a matter of keep choosing to change your life. And then
choose something new every day. It doesn't have to be more than one thing. That's right. It's all about a process. You can't dive off the cliff. I mean, you have to work your way along. And I think what people find if they do it that way, and this works in fitness, by the way, as well, with weight loss or whatever your goal happens to be, if you'll reach your goal if you get there steadily. If you just do one or two things every day that's different and that makes a difference in your journey, you'll get to the destination. If you try to bite off more than you can chew and do too much in the beginning, you'll struggle, because you're taking on more than you're ready for. And so that's why it's called a journey. You don't get to the destination on day one. You have to get to the destination over time. So
and we never get to the destination. Let's say it as it is.
Yeah. It's always a journey. Life is a journey.
But I like that you say, because I was like so triggered for years of like the expression of just jump off the cliff, just jump in the water. I'm like, fuck no, I'm not jumping in the water.
I mean, take chances, definitely take chances, but yeah.
I know, like I'm going to the ocean, like toes in the water, and then to the ankles, and then to the knees. Like I need, and for me, it's how it works for me, and everybody gets to be different. But it's a matter of allowing our system to calibrate to the new thing. Allow your system to calibrate.
Right.
Things are falling. Did I say that? Yes. To calibrate to, you want to change your life, you want to change your job, you want to change your relationship, you want to change your city, you want to change whatever you want to change. Change is change. And it's a shock for the system. So I like the example with, working out, going to the gym. Nobody go to the gym, and like, if somebody could say, hey, it takes 300 hours to build this body. If you go and you stay in the gym for 300 hours, you're not going to do it. You have to do it on an extended period of time.
Right.
So, and I'm tired and kind of sad to see people how much they're rushing. Like, even in a coaching industry, like just get the results and get the results. It's like, just leave the results alone. Let's focus, like, how can you be happy today?
Right.
What doesn't let you be happy today? Because really, it's all we have.
Yeah.
I don't know if we're going to be here tomorrow.
Right. Exactly.
So
we're not promised
what
tomorrow.
Doesn't let you be happy today? What doesn't let you enjoy your life today? What doesn't let you admire that person in the mirror today? So it's all about today. As you say earlier, it's about now. It's about now. It's about now. What is the dream of where am I going now? Where am I going? Because we plant the seeds.
Yeah.
So somebody way smarter than me at some point said, you can get to self-love through self-abuse.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And that's what we do. I'm not doing that anymore, right?
Right.
Like, oh, I have muffin tops. Oh, I could see the double chin. Oh, but I'm confident and I'm successful and I'm gonna build a multimillionaire business. I'm like, those two are like two different energies. Like,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah.
where's the truth?
They really are. And I think also I want to clarify too, because we're not talking about not taking a leap of faith, because taking a leap of faith is just a decision. Taking a leap of faith is a beautiful thing to say, I'm going to jump, I'm going to make the leap. But in order to make that leap, you make the decision. That's the leap of faith when you make the decision. But then you go through the process of getting to that goal. And that's what we're really talking about. We're not saying don't take a chance. I mean, we're coaches that are all about our clients taking a big leap to make a change in their life, but doing so in a way, like you said, that is
the big leap isn't a decision. I love how you clarify that. It's in a decision, but that's not going to bring you the results. In order to get the results, you have to do the journey. You have to do the damn work.
You have to do the damn work. That's right. That's 100% it.
Oh my God, this is so good. Okay, yeah. So in closing, because we're gonna come back here and we're gonna look at things from all kind of direction, and none of this was planned for what we are talking about, and that's how we roll.
Exactly.
In closing, I just want to invite everyone to open the description, and this masterclass coming up, masterclass is for men only. So ladies, if you have husbands or brothers or boyfriends or friends, share the link with it. We do want to offer this safe space for men as we done it for women. And then we'll see how this work is gonna evolve, and when we could all join. Like, that is my ultimate dream. We could all join and don't let go of making everything sexual, and really tune into how do we connect with other humans, regardless how, what kind of body they are living in.
Right. How do we relate to one another as people in general?
As people, yeah. And maybe learn from each other.
Yeah, ideally.
I mean, like, you want to be rich, learn from somebody, learn from a different culture, learn from a different person. It's just like, we can learn from ourselves.
Right. We have to, everybody has to learn from someone. Yes, that's right.
All right, so final note in closing.
We're really excited about this. I really hope that we'll have a great group of men that sign up for this masterclass that we're doing. It's going to be a great experience. It is really step one with the men, so this is going to be a great way to get launched. But please join us. It's going to be an incredible experience just to kind of dive in a little bit and see how we can grow. And again, you've heard me speak over the last half hour. For me, it's all about helping people become happier, more authentic people. And if that's something that you're looking for in life, if you're a man out there listening, then let's dive in and let's see how we can get there.
Yay! All right. Goodbye, everyone. See you next time. Chin chin. Thank you,
Cheers.
Michael.
Thank you.
Thank you for tuning in today. I would love to hear from you. What inspired you? What triggered you? And what interests you? Please join the conversation by leaving your comments and your insights. Explore more about their experience at simonaspark.com/bear. I hope you listen, follow, rate, and review all of our episodes. I can't wait to have you back. Till then, be Bear. Beautiful, authentic, real, and ever evolving.